don't know yet because you haven't yet participated with us enough for us to figure out exactly what all the solutions are or what the plan should be, but we're working on it. But I can say just right off the bat from touring the neighborhood that in all of these places, it's really important to cluster the retail and services with the best existing stuff that you have right now. You need to add housing with College Hill. You have some large parcels like the Gateway here, and then up again where the at North Bend, where the old Kroger is. It's probably more important to add density there than it is retail, because you can't support more retail until you get more density. And finally, when you start to do that, you can infill the existing gaps to make both sides of the street viable. When we look at Madisonville, number one, you got to find a way to tame that street. You can't make that a great retail street in its present configuration. It works fine for the Family Dollar, but it's not the Main Street people have been telling you they want. And you have opportunity sites there. For instance, right here, where you have the opportunity not only to reinforce the existing cross street, which have wonderful buildings on it, but also to add housing that would help reinforce the neighborhood. So, Walnut Hills really is pretty well functioning as far as density goes, but the sense of place has been lost. The food store that's there, it's another Kroger's. Yeah, they've got a solid wall of brick across the street from beautiful historic buildings, which are now failing. And really there, I'd say that it's a matter of working, and Kathleen will talk about this, to develop a retail strategy, because there's more market support there than there is in most places. And when you have that retail strategy, you can repopulate the business district. And I would say also that for some of those areas, like where the Kroger's is, across from the Kroger's, it may not be the best retail location anymore, but I don't see why it can't be services like real estate, finance, healthcare, offices. And finally, when you do consider where retail needs to go, you need to find that prime location where you're going to cluster those businesses strategically. And by strategically, we mean don't put in someone who's selling office supplies in a district where you want it to have a cafe and two restaurants. Or if you do, consider how the business is mixed. Westwood, they'll love this in Westwood. I'm saying add density at your chosen Main Street area. The reason I say chosen Main Street area is because their Main Street is so long and it's so empty at this point that they really need to decide where they're going to make something happen and then concentrate just on that, because they can't possibly fill up that whole street. So, density is not popular there, and I just wanted to point out that there's a lot of existing multifamily in Westwood, but it's in the wrong place. It's not next to the businesses, and it's the wrong type. It doesn't respect the historic character. It doesn't fit in with the other buildings. It does serve a purpose, but if you're going to do this and help create a Main Street, your multifamily needs to respect the street and the people walking by presenting to the street front, addressing the street, and making it comfortable in exactly the same way that the other shop fronts do. Obviously, density needs to be clustered at where your retail and commercial is if you're going to make those things mutually supportive. The retail and commercial can help make the density attractive, to apartments attractive to young people, and you need to cluster the businesses strategically together. And another thing about this is that we've heard from the community that they're worried that young people are not coming in to buy their single-family units. Well, well, that will be where your next generation of people to buy your single-family units comes from, because you'll have young couples moving into that because they like the neighborhood but can't afford a house. And then as they grow in their careers, as their life needs change, maybe they have a child, that's when they'll begin buying a single family in the neighborhood. So by using this also as an opportunity to create a life cycle of housing, you reinforce